What's up everybody, welcome back. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Obstruct Obstagoon in the Summer Cup, with Obstruct obviously being the new comp day move for Obstagoon. Not that even Obstagoon needed a comp day move, it was pretty solid as such in the Go Battle League, but obviously now with Obstruct, even though it's one counter more expensive than Night Slash and does much less the damage, it's very useful in specific situations, especially towards endgame. In 1v1 situations where both Pokemon can't switch out to clear their buffs or debuffs, it can put in a lot of work, which is why I'm going to be using it as a closer in this team comp, with Vigoroth as the safe swap and Trevenant is the lead. And there were some really fun battles in here, and let's get straight into it. Okay, moving on to the first battle here, we have Trevenant into a Shadow Alolan Exeggutor. Super spicy pick here, and let's see what they decide to do. They actually make a switch immediately into their Shadow Kanto Ninetales. I go immediately into my Vigoroth here. We don't really have a hard counter for a Kanto Ninetales, but obviously Vigoroth is going to be able to put in quite a bit of work, especially with these counters and body slams. I'm going to overfarm quite a bit and throw the body slam on what I think is a CMP tie to the next Weather Ball. So this is probably going to force a shield from the Kanto Ninetales as it does there. And now I'm just going to let the Weather Ball go through. That's fine because both Obstagoon and Trevenant can deal with an Alolan Exeggutor. At this point, I have to come in with my Obstagoon here, and I'm going to look to fully farm down. We're probably going to have to shield a Shadow Weather Ball, but that's okay. We're going to be able to come out of this matchup with so much energy, right? And especially, like I said, Obstagoon is an incredible closer, especially with this moveset. It can put in so much work towards endgame. I'm going to fully farm down here. We're almost at 2 Obstructs right now. They actually may come back with an Alolan Exeggutor. I'm just going to go for the Obstruct here just to get that defense debuff. And we do, even though that really doesn't do that much damage, and now I can go for the Night Slash. This is again going to do massive neutral damage against the Shadow Alolan Exeggutor. As you can see, nearly one-shots it right there. We're able to counter down as well, and they have a Macargo in the back. This is absolutely perfect. I'm going to go for the Obstruct here. This is the exact situation where Obstruct can come in so clutch, especially because they can't really switch out to clear their debuffs. And now I'm going to go for the Night Slash here. As you can see, these counters are really starting to add up as well. Night Slash does massive neutral damage, and at this point I'm just going to shield this up because we are triple buffed right now in terms of defense, and those Incinerates are really not doing that much damage, and they decide to concede the match there. So even, I mean, that was a bit of a risky play, but even if they'd farmed down, I mean, Trevenant would have been able to get off one Shadow Claw and pretty much take out the Macargo there. So moving on to the next one here, we have a Trevenant into an Azumarill. Pretty positively, obviously you want to catch Azumarill in the lead because the backline doesn't have the best matchup against Azumarill. Vigoroth has a decent matchup obviously, but Obstagoon, especially with this moveset, has absolutely no play against Azumarill, right? But that's okay. I'm just going to stay in with my Trevenant here and go for the Seed Bomb right now, and they make a switch into their Wall Rain. We have 2 better responses to Wall Rain, but that's okay. I'm just basically going to build up to 2 Seed Bombs and throw the first one just to draw a shield, and now I'm going to go into my Obstagoon here. It could have come in with Vigoroth as well, but obviously I don't want the Obstagoon matched up against the Azumarill. But I'm just going to tank the Icicle Spear. In hindsight, I probably should have shielded one of the first 2 Icicle Spears, because once I get the Obstruct off, I don't have to shield the next one, right? But I'm just going to go for the Obstruct here in hopes that I can counter this Wall Rain down before they can get to another move, but it's going to be very close, right? They're probably going to get to another Icicle Spear just about now, which is why, like I said, I probably should have shielded one of the previous 2 Icicle Spears here, but that's okay. We should be able to fully counter down, and they actually bring back the Azumarill. This is where, again, I decided to basically just stay in with the Obstagoon just to see how much the Night Slash does, especially after the debuff from Obstruct. Obviously, even though this is resistant, I'm hoping it KOs here, but actually doesn't quite KO. Obviously, Azumarill is just super tanky. But now I'm going to go into my Vigoroth right now. Charge move is going to be coming through. It's going to be a play rough. That's fine. We should be able to counter down. This is not a great situation being because we are down a shield here, and we need to see what their final Pokemon is, right? And they actually have an Obstagoon in the back. This is fantastic for Vigoroth because I'm going to be able to get into this body slam here, and these counters are going to really starting adding up, right? Obviously doing double super effective damage against Obstagoon. They're forced to throw a move right now. That's fine. I'm really hoping this is not an Obstruct. It is just a cross chop, which is nice. And I'm hoping they're not running Obstruct here. But anyways, I'm just going to come in with my Trevenant right now. And I was trying to build up 2 Seed Bombs, hoping that they would catch, which is why I overfarmed, but they end up catching anyways, which is really bad for me. And I switched into my Obstagoon to catch a move, but unfortunately they don't throw. And now I'm just going to go for the Seed Bomb here. And at this point, this is going to be very, very close right now, right? And they get to a move, which is unfortunate. Now, if this is a Night Slash, this will KO. But they're running Obstruct. They're actually running the moveset of Obstruct and Cross Chop, which is actually really nice for Trevenant. As you can see, Obstruct just does not do enough damage. And even though they've been buffed and we've been debuffed, Seed Bomb still does enough neutral damage to take out the Obstagoon. There's probably a little bit of a misplay on their part, but I guess they had no choice considering that they didn't have Night Slash. Which is why I probably believe that, obviously, Night Slash and Obstruct is probably the better moveset for Obstagoon, right? We're met with a Noctowl on the lead, absolutely dreadful. The worst lead you can see for a Trevenant. I go into my Vigoroth here, they come in with their Vigoroth, and I absolutely have to win switch advantage right now, right? And because we have the slight energy lead, I'm hoping that Vigoroth can take switch advantage here. They actually let the body slam go through, which is really surprising, because I should be able to fully counter down before they can get to another move here. And if the Noctowl comes back out, this tells me that they could probably be very, very weak to Vigoroth in back, so they probably have a Diggersby or their own Obstagoon or something. But anyways, I just go for the Body Slam here. It does quite a bit of damage against Noctowl, and I'm able to get to another Body Slam as well. But unfortunately, this Noctowl is farming down for quite a bit of energy, so that's not ideal. And I'm really hoping I can get to another Body Slam as well. Unfortunately, we die just as we get to it. So that's not great. And they have a Lickitung, so I expected they had a Pokemon that was weak to counter in the back. I switched in my Trevenant. In hindsight, I probably should have stayed in with Obstagoon, but that's okay. I decided to switch in my Trevenant because Trevenant has 0 play against Noctowl. So might as well use it in this matchup. And also Trevenant completely walls the charged movesets, the standard charged movesets of Lickitung, which is Power Whip and Body Slam, even though these leaks are really adding up, right? Unfortunately, as you can see, Body Slam does not KO, and this gives them quite a bit of farm, and they're going to be able to unleash a lot of Body Slams against my Obstagoon, which is not ideal. That's okay, I'm just going to let everything go through here. I'm more worried about the charge moves coming from Noctowl, more specifically a Sky Attack, which is obviously going to do a lot more than the Body Slam from Lickitung would. And now they make a switch into the Noctowl. They are at the back-to-back, right? So I'm going to just throw the Night Slash right away because I want to force the CMP on the second Sky Attack. In hindsight, I probably should have gone for Obstruct, but I didn't realize that it was charged up at the time. But if I'd gone for Obstruct, this Sky Attack would have done lesser damage, right? And that ended up making the difference, as you can see here. We do farm down. It's going to be very, very close here. Those licks are triple resisted. I'm able to get to this Night Slash. So I'm going to go for the Night Slash because I want to do more damage here. And Night Slash does quite a bit of damage. Can be countered down. Ends up being a double KO there. So if I had gone for the Obstruct the first time against Noctowl, we probably would have had a little bit more HP and we probably would have been able to take that. But that's okay. Moving on to the next one here. We have a Trevenant into a Magcargo. Absolutely terrible lead. They make a switch into the Escavalier. This is exactly what we want. You want to bait out the counter user. And I decided to commit to the Bulldoze. But yeah, I'm just going to let this go through here because obviously Body Slam's not going to do too much damage anyways. And at this point, I'm just going to come with my Trevenant and go for a complete farm down on this Escavalier. I'm hoping if they're not running Mega Horn and they are running Acid Spray, which is massive for Trevenant because at this point, I should be able to fully farm down and come out of this matchup with so much energy there. And even if the Magcargo comes back in, I should be able to get to a Seed Bomb and a Shadow Ball here. Unfortunately, I don't throw on good timing, as you can see there. I probably should have timed those moves a little bit better. But that's okay. I go for the Shadow Ball right now. Shadow Ball does get the shield. And now it's up to Obstagoon with 2 shields to be able to close this game out here. I'm going to shield this up. It's a Stone Edge. Luckily, it's not a Rock Tomb because that would have debuffed the attack. And they have a Venusaur in the back. So I'm just going to go for the Obstruct for, right away here. Just want to lower the defense of Venusaur. So these counters are really starting adding up. I'm going to shield the first Frenzy Plant here, obviously, because this is going to do the most damage. And the subsequent Frenzy Plants, obviously, once I keep buffing up my defense, it's just not going to do that much damage, right? I'm going to go for the second Obstruct here in hopes that the Night Slash after this is going to KO because we are double boosted in terms of defense and they are double debuffed in terms of defense, right? As you can see, Frenzy Plant doesn't do too much damage. I decided to pull the trigger on Night Slash. Probably could have done a couple extra counters there, but I wasn't exactly sure where they were at in terms of energy. But that's okay. Back in comes Magcargo here. I'm just going to go for the Night Slash here because there's no point going for Obstruct right now because obviously Night Slash does way more damage, right? And I'm just going to try and go for the counter down here. Unfortunately, they get to a move. They're going to throw a move. I'm really hoping now that Trevenant with Shadow Claw should be able to close this out. It's going to be very, very close here. Unfortunately, the Incinerate registers and I'm not able to get enough Shadow Claws. We're like 1 Shadow Claw away from taking that game there, but that was very close regardless. Moving on to the final battle, I believe, of the video. We have Trevenant into a Lapras. We have 2 better responses to a Lapras, so I switch in my Vigoroth here. And they make they're staying in and they're going for the Surf, which is completely fine by me. And that's quite a bit of damage. And they make a switch into their own Vigoroth. I'm hoping that I can get to 2 Body Slams. So I'm going to go for the first Body Slam right now. Does quite a bit of damage. I'm able to get to the second Body Slam as well. But as you can see, just because we had a little bit of screen lag, I wasn't able to get to an excellent on that one. And which is why the Vigoroth ended up surviving. Which is not the worst thing as well, because Trevenant is going to be able to come in and farm down for quite a bit of energy here. Unfortunately, we lost switch advantage, but that's okay, because Trevenant with the energy advantage can be very, very deadly here. They actually may come in with their own Obstagoon, and this is one of those very specific matchups where having Obstruct is going to really help, right? Especially in the mirror matchup. As you can see, they're throwing Night Slash, which is really nice for me. I'm going to go for the Obstruct here because this is almost for sure going to get the shield. And also it's going to buff up our defense and debuff them as well, which is really nice in this matchup, right? I'm going to shield this up, even though this is a resisted debuffed Night Slash. I mean, debuffed as in we're going to take debuff damage anyways. And they make a switch into the Lapras. I'm just going to go for the Obstruct once again here, just to guarantee lower their defense, so that once Trevenant comes back in, it should be able to farm down, right? Unfortunately, Lapras is able to get to a move. That's okay. It's going to be a Surf here. But Trevenant is going to be able to come back in and hopefully Shadow Claw down before they can get to a move. It's going to be very close, and we are able to Shadow Claw down. Obstagoon is not at a move yet, so I should be able to get to the back-to-back Seed Bombs here. The first one should get the shield, but the second one will KO. But they actually let the first one go through because they probably realized that we had the back-to-back anyways. And yeah, I think we finished with the 3-2 set. Like, 3 wins, a tie and a loss, but that's okay. Overall, like as you can see, I mean, it is a pretty solid closer, especially with Obstruct. I'm definitely looking forward to trying it out in the Open Ultra and Open Great League as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.